Live from the apocalypse, this is the winner's circle. Put your goggles on. Champagne will be everywhere. This is State of the Game. I am so happy to be here as your primary host. The hosts, there's two of them on this show, and we are much, to put us in Dorito terminology, I am the nacho cheese, and my co-host, Kay Diggy, is the Cool Blue Ranch.
Cool Ranch, yeah.
So
Nice.
that is our roles here. Glad to have you as I do every week. And we got so I got to dedicate this episode to Art Kimball. I'm going to dedicate this episode to Art Kimball because in my high school, there's a gentleman named Art Kimball who joined the military right out of high school. He took a very dangerous job, which I did not do. I joined the military and took a job I did not get a bonus in, so I would be more safe. He took a dangerous job for the bonus money. He took his bonus money and he bought a giant no limit chain. And this is a very white, very skinny gentleman in Maine who is just walking around with a big no limit chain that cost him thousands of dollars. So this is for you, Art Kimball.
He's the shit for that. He's the shit for that.
Yeah, I know. That's great. That's cool. Yeah, we are talking to International Jones, Fiend. We're talking about someone with more career than most people will ever have in music.
Wow. Honored. Totally honored. You know what I mean? Totally honored, man.
I was thinking about the stages of your career today. I was like, wow. Because there's a lot of like misconceptions about No Limit. I was really hardcore into No Limit. So I have a lot of theories there, but we did an episode about Master P that we called the Ringmaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where he was kind of the ringmaster of every album he put out. You know, he was organizing the event of his album. And if you look at it, Kay, do me a favor, pull up Ghetto Dope, Master P track list. Tell me how many songs have 3 MCs or more.
Ghetto Dope track list. Okay.
Because that was the thing. A lot of these major releases through No Limit would have a lot of people on each song, and it was P putting everybody's name out there and establishing everyone's individual brand so you could put your album out and you'd have a fan base.
And it's easier to go who only had a single feature. So We Rider, Mac was 4.
Right.
Plan B with Mia X, Weed and Money. Everything else, multiple features.
Yep. He was establishing everyone at once, right? All the time. So you could become a fan of Silk or a fan of C or a fan of Fiend. And how old were you when you joined No Limit, Fiend?
How old was I when I went to putting out music with No Limit Records? I had to be anywhere between 20, maybe 18, 20. No. I'm gonna say like at least 20. I think I was 20 when I started working. You know what I'm saying? Because I was around a little bit prior, so I was 19 around. You know what I'm saying? But officially started putting music out, my own solo stuff, when I was 20, right before I made 21.
Good deal. Yeah, no, so so when you put out like Street Life in 99, when you put out, Just One in Every Family, you had already blown away features on the biggest records that No Limit had, right?
I was just playing my part, you know, surrounded by a bunch of dope people. And you know, when the track came on, I just did me. You know, the people can rate or judge or compare. I just was doing me on tracks, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Mm.
yeah. Everyone had their own flavor. Everyone had their own skill set. Um,
And
and I, yeah. But every song was kind of like an audition, you know, because if you did really well, you were establishing yourself on like, as an example, the one I think about for you is Street Symphony on my second favorite Snoop Dogg album, No Limit Top Dog. Um, with I mean, that just is a murderer's row. Mia X and Goldie Loke, and you came in and killed it. Um,
Thank you.
and so you were just. Do you remember gaining a reputation as like people want me on these songs?
Um, yeah, you know, locally I was already before I had signed and did business with No Limit Records, locally I already had success. You know what I'm saying? With a single entitled "The Baddest Motherfucker Alive,"
Mhm.
produced by Leroy Precise Edwards. And I also had an album titled by Won't Be Denied. So I already had local success. So I had a demand of people want me on some stuff. But I mean, it was totally enjoy for the peers of Amir X Mystical, you know, Mac, you know, and so on. You know what I'm saying? For us to have this high regard, getting on track. So yeah, man, for sure, you know, it just turned up even more so. You know what I'm saying? It just turned up even more so.
and let me. How did you get into rapping? Like, what was your introduction to rap?
How did I get into rapping, man? And I wish I could say the very first thing I saw had me, but you know, simply off nostalgia, um, I remember I remember me, you know, buying my first rap vinyls as a kid, whether I walked to the record store or got a ride or, you know what I'm saying, and just bought anything. Like, you know what I'm saying, this is what the record store owner, you know, says just came in. Let me
Mm-hmm.
buy that. You know what I'm saying? I remember buying my first vinyl of somebody, you know, that was a DJ or something, and he had something and it wasn't about I liked it and I love hip hop. I got, you know what I mean? But Eric B. and Rakim, my first introductory to that, Fat Boys, um, Stessa Sonic, Big Daddy Kane, Molly Mall Production, you know, Rick Rubin, LL Cool J, you know, Def Jam, you know, Steady B, like Heavy D and the Boys. Like I love hip
Yeah.
hop. You know, if it was a genre and it didn't have a name, whatever it was, then I just loved it. And for some reason, I saw myself doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was writing poems already, like English class, reading class, and I kind of find out I was really good at doing poems. But when I say I could probably turn some of these poems into songs, you know. Um, but that would be my first recollection. My cousin Lat let me listen to the Fat Boys when he come visit Uptown. You know, he'll bring a record or he'll bring a cassette. You know, Eric B. and Rakim hearing Paid in Full for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, my God, you know, listening to NWA, riding around with my brother in my mom's car. He'll let me take a run with him right quick and you know, listening to Quiet on the Set while we get to borrow her car for a few moments, loud blasting, you know what I'm saying, by NWA, performed by MC Ren, you know, like I just love that shit, bro. You know what I mean? And I think it was the inevitable, you know.
Mm.
That's awesome. Yeah, just a drive to do it, you know. And so that is the establishment of like Womp Womp Fiend, right? Like you can in that era of Fiend, you can hear the hunger, right? You're trying to kill every verse, every hook, every line, every second. urgency, right? And you know, I think of War for a Reason, you know,
Mm.
the rock show, like I
Mm.
think of those kind of songs for that. Does that characterization of you during that era make sense?
I definitely did, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the rock show, War for Reasons, you know, I'm just, man, getting it off my chest, you know. War for Reason, the rock show. Street Life was a little bit different because I got a chance to see the world a little bit and release a #1 album on Billboard, you know, hit #1 on Billboard. And pretty much the first week they figured out I was going to go gold. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we have the certified plaque to represent that. Um, and then to come back a year later, a year, 2 months later, a year, 2 months, one day later, and drop Street Life to do the rock show and War for Reason. I had just come back from Europe, bringing in the new year, and I toured with Snoop Dogg, Corey Miller, Mac Phipps, Cain and Abel. God bless his soul, Mr. Magic, and sometimes Silk was on at 1 or 2 dates. But I was fresh from Europe and saw the world was a ghetto, you know, to some degree, and I saw that there was racism still in parts of the world that, you know, you figured, you know, the United States is one way, maybe, you know, but racism still exists all over the world to some degree. And I had a different outlook on life. So that's what made Street Life a tad bit different and more controlled, an expression of me, the producers, of what I seen traveling the world. And, you know, the first album I did it for my neighborhood. The second album I did it for the world.
Mm. How did it? So you said, because it's funny because I feel like as Black artists, that's an often common story. Like they go to Europe and it impacts not only their worldview but their art as well. Like, how did that trip? Could you like go into a little bit more detail? Like, how did that trip to Europe? How did that like change your worldview?
The trip to Europe changed me because it made me know I have value when on my block, my neighborhood, or just the, you know, my surroundings. I may think life is you know, but so big.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean so little. You know, life means, you know what I'm saying, so little to a youth growing up in America. But going outside the world, I realized that there's more things than my block, my neighborhood, my city, my state. It's a bigger world out there, and I want to live more for that. So it added value of life to me. It made me have some value, to know some knowledge of value of life. So it's my duty as an artist to accentuate that, you know, art imitating life. So that's what Street Life was, Heart of a Ghetto Boy. You know, I was placed here waiting on God. You know what I'm saying? Like it was delicately done. Excuse the tongue twister. You know, it was done in such a charismatic, personable way. If I never put out an album again, and I felt it in my voice, I felt it in my spirit on the songs. I even said it, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying it's fresh off the paper. You might don't even hear it in case you don't hear this again. You know, I was speaking like just in case, you know, who knows what tomorrow may bring. I'm gonna get these things off my chest. And it accentuated, you know, I didn't wear a lot of jewelry in my videos, talking like I bring it Mr. Womp Womp. I didn't know if I get a second video. So I'm one of the first artists to mix 2 songs in one video, talking like I bring it to transcend the Mr. Womp Womp. So I made it count like I never have this opportunity to get to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was excellently executed from start to finish. You know, you're a human being and you're a human doing. So, you know, you're gonna feel all kind of ways 7 days a week. So I think those things should be exemplified in music in its purest form, in its most honest form. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to kill this notion thinking that every release from No Limit was like a compilation. We kind of depended on so much of each other to be all over each other's music. So this project didn't have Corey Miller, Percy Miller, Rashawn Miller. It didn't have none of these awesome entities that were great on the company. But I wanted to show that as an artist by myself, as a vessel, I'm gonna accentuate art of the ghetto boy, of the young ghetto boy that don't get a chance to say a lot, but when he do, my God, he said, like shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to make the people feel something. And I think that we achieved that, with releasing Street Life like we did.
That's incredible. That's an incredible story. Awesome. I mean, the other thing is, this was, I have to put this in context, right? What you guys went through was unprecedented in a few ways, because this was before the internet, right? So there was no feasible way to sell that many artists at one time, like on a rap label. So when you bought a No Limit CD and you opened up the packet, the back 2 pages were just all filled with albums that had either come out or were going to come out, and you were just like floored by how much there was. And me being an obsessive person, I was doing homework, right? I was going back, on everybody. And so, but that was a lot. And when it shot up to the top of the charts and everything was hitting, the spotlight of it, you burned brighter than anyone could have imagined, right? Which I have to think that, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. I think some people think that No Limit died because Cash Money took the spot, right? But I don't think that's true. I think a lot of times what happens is you guys you're so successful, the Gold Tank and the whole thing, that locally people were much happier calling you fake than they were calling you successful. And because they started being loud and the haters were on the local ground, there became all these court cases, and there became all this local, frustration, because everybody on No Limit was an authentic individual who didn't want to be called outside of their name. So there was all kinds of cases pending, and some of them went through. But do you think the spotlight had anything to do with that, or is this just being targeted by the authorities because you're successful?
My life, your entertainment,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna enjoy my good, my bad, my worst, my great. You know what I'm saying? I've never been called fake. But what a person think of me isn't my business. You know what I'm saying? I think we have real diehard believers and real fans individually as well, and people like us a part of this big company as well. Me personally, I just think that sometimes when the recipe isn't the same, you may not have as much traffic in your restaurant. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that it's personal. I don't think it's about the consumer. I just think that's just is what it is. I hate to try to make something bigger than it was. There's a lot of layers of things, but
Sure.
That's probably one of my perspectives of any business being ran, is that's what I would look at it. And everybody gets their turn. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets their turn. And at that era, the light was shine like this. And most of the time, a lot of people didn't know how to see two great somethings. They only wanted one.
Right.
So, where I'm from, there's not a whole bunch of people saying, yeah, man, all you guys are equally zada, zada, zada. So, especially then. So, I don't know to ringlead that or spearhead that to tell you this is the factual reason. From my perspective on a business, perspective, at the end all, with no emotions attached, I'm gonna tell you that if a restaurant is greatly known for their recipes, and if something changes, you may find yourself less visiting that restaurant.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Great way to put it. I
I
appreciate
had a quick question. So your album went #1. What did that feel like to you when you got that news that your album had reached #1 on the chart?
Hit #1 on Billboard May 5th, 1998. It felt great. It felt great because I didn't even know I had that type of goal set. One thing about wanting to be the best, you don't even know all the accolades that can come with it. You just want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? It's, so it felt amazing. And it felt even better when I did it right a year later, 2 months and 2 days later, again with Street Life.
Did you feel any pressure of any expectations, or was it just like, oh, this is a cool accomplishment, and what's next?
I didn't feel pressure. I was happy to be getting this music, off my chest. It was therapy. It was a dope way to express myself as an MC. And, it helped me grow and not pack all that, try to compartmentalize that for one day further. So it helped me, therapeutically. As a businessman, it helped me, go a notch further of what I need to accomplish for what I'm looking to do with my achievements. And, yeah, man, if you authentically yourself, it's probably that much more bigger reward as an artist. And if your business is straight, it could be a big reward for you financially as well. No, because it's less other components you have to put in it to make it work to get those same results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, so and the other thing that changed, right, is so when you broke and you went #1 twice, the world at large didn't have much of an understanding of the scope of Southern rap artists, right? The difference in, a New Orleans rapper and an Atlanta rapper and a Texas rapper, or like the different genres within those places, right? You guys helped form that. And then fast forward to the blog era, right? And Currency drops Covert Coup, and obviously Gucci is doing, is innovating on the trap end. Like, by the time you come back with the Jet Life movement, there's more of an understanding of what a Southern artist is, and people are happy to hear you again. How was that? How did that come out? What was the first song that broke where people were like, you're like, man, people really want to hear me?
Well, the people, that's the thing about it, man. The misperception is that if I'm not on your radar, when you normally get your fancy news, where you get your fancy alerts of what's hip and what's cool,
right,
people will think they depreciate what they held in high regard.
Absolutely.
I constantly drop music year round. I drop the head buses. The people never got tired of me. You just kind of boil down to your immediate fan base. You know what I'm saying? After 3 albums, the people really are done with you, bro.
Right.
So after 3 albums, the world is done with you. It's just your diehard fans. Diehard fans. And if you so happen to make something that catches the regular consumer's ear, the people wasn't done with me. I was signed a Rough Rider for 4 years. I became an A&R and a producer for Atlantic Records. I wrote a lot of records. I was still in the music business. I just wasn't on the typical, funny people news and
right,
all over TV. I decided to wanted to be rich instead of being famous. Now, did it hurt as far as the popularity race? I guess it probably did if I'm in the business of popularity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I think
Currency.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Currency and myself was working, been around each other for a long time, and when just to skip from that, to skip my releases of 2000 to 2010, just to skip a decade, you know what I'm saying, to fast forward to get there, he was in a studio recording. We were both managed by the same person, my brother Musa, which me having this relationship and him exemplifying his great managerial skills for what I needed, other people was able to see that they possibly may need that. So Currency was able to see, here's a manager right here. Let me see what's up with this guy. And I would go, and he'd have sessions, and I'd go hang out or either go record something in another room, and I might leave. And he said, yo, big homie, you get on the song with me? And I get on Coops and Lears, you know what I'm saying? Or I get on, whatever he had up, you know what I'm saying? And never refused to, to jump on whatever that, he asked me to get on, you know what I'm saying? Not really knowing that was, a seed being planted. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't know that was a seed being planted, but I'm happy that we did. Very happy that we did, because we also made our own relationship, our own camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm very, very happy I did. But I remember doing Coops and Lears. We've been in the studio prior to that by DJ Spin Spot, but I don't know if we recorded anything. We recorded Coops and Lears by this basketball player by the name of Jonathan Benders, his studio in Kenner, in Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? And I remember I jumped in there, wrote something, did Coops and Lears, and he was like, guess what, bro? He said, guess what, big homie? He was like, I bet my friends that I can get you to get on some smooth shit, and you would be on some smooth shit. And I was like, bro? And that was just a Thursday or a Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? I was like, that's what's up. Then I seen him again. Hold on, 2000, that's like maybe 2008, 2009. Forgive me if I got the year wrong about that, because 2010, I went overseas to Amsterdam. Me, Spitter, Fendi P, and Musa. And we went to go support him judging the Cannabis Cup. You know what I'm saying? And it felt right being on tour together, having each other's back. You know what I'm saying? It just felt natural. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know everything, but I was willing to learn my part in his world, what was existing with, my brother Musa being involved as management and part brains behind building this wonderful, awesome brand that we support and love called Jet Life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Currency is one of Dano and I's favorite rappers. What were some characteristics about him as a rapper that really stood out to you?
Some of the characteristics of young Currency the Spitter that stood out to me is he's not scared to work. He's not scared to work at all. He's not scared to have a good time. And I think and I love the fan base that has accumulated from him doing this, like he's been doing this. Everyone that's been involved, from the Dame Dashes to Keefe, Dame's nephew,
right?
Everyone that's just been involved, helped building this Creative Control, Smoke Desert, Big Crit, Most Def, so many people I haven't had a chance to meet like Black Keys, I believe.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
That's right, man.
It's so many people that played a part, I think, of Nesby Phipps, of help Monster Beats, of help building Wiz Khalifa, people that just, help all come together to make this something special, to make the world just support the brand that much more. I think all those all those things that complimented, drawn me toward it, and the fan base. I commend him. I salute him. I'm encouraged. Love these guys. You know what I'm saying? Just genuinely. And I think it's dope that he's able to make a great living independently doing something that he thinks is cool. And at the end of the day, that's all what counts. If you think it's cool, that's enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's two things that come to mind with like what you and Currency share in my mind. Like first, you guys have had long careers where you've never said anything wild that you couldn't stand on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's rapping is a lot of talking. And when you're talking that much, a lot of times you can come out of yourself and say something wild that you regret or have to spit again the rest of your life. Um, you and Currency are so level in who you are that you can kind of stand on whatever's being said, which is not a simple thing. You got also neither of you have ever really like spat over a bad beat. Like you guys have great ears for beats. Like you mentioned Monster Beats, incredible. Like Beats by the Pound, Moby Dick, like all throughout your career, honorable C note on Coolest in Session 3. I mean, it's just fantastic. Like,
oh my God, bro. Oh my God. Production. If I don't produce it myself, I trust the ears of a producer if it come down to putting like a Fiend project or that type of texture or flat out like International Jones. Like, I would prefer to be known as International Jones, but when I do features, cats keep putting featuring Fiend. So I just didn't want to confuse the people on this latest release, so I just called it Fiend.
right.
Coolest in Session 3. You know what I'm saying? But I love music, man. I love music, and I know what makes me feel good. Shout out to the producers, the Mecca 504, RJ2, who produced Living Legend, which is fucking bananas. Shout out to Cash Fargo, DJ Snake Eye, excuse me. Shout out to Fargo, Snake Eyes, shout out to Honorable C Note. My goodness, that fucking Broken Spirit is just, oh my God, bro. It's like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? And everyone else that was involved. Shout out to myself. I produced under the name Billionaire Rick. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to myself on there too.
That's right. Yeah, no, tell me about the creation of International Jones because I think it really helped. Like Mr. Womp Womp, the Hunger Period, and International Jones was you being able to acknowledge I've been all over the world 100 times. Like I'm hungry, but I'm savvy. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not, okay, for the record, what I'm about to say is not putting me in the room with these two people that I'm going to tell you about. It's not taking me out, but I'm not putting myself in the room, right? I'm saying, imagine if you can get, what would Tupac be releasing nowadays? What would Biggie be releasing today? What kind of music would they be releasing? So this is what International Jones is. What is it like to hear your favorite artist if he was in his 40s? And like what kind of music would he be making? What kind of music would she be making in a world of hip hop that frowns upon growing in season, growing up in hip hop, getting an age, or you know what I'm saying, like, or being able to have a career for over 20 years? What would that sound like? It would sound like International Jones, bro. It'd be jazz loops and be vibes, and it'd be temperaments. What it feel like 7 days a week just to be a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. What about if they got a chance to get to this age, bro? What would that sound like? What would they be talking about? And it's the same subject matters or their own version and expression of art. You feel me? Right. You're getting it with Nas right now. You feel me? You're getting it with Nas. You feel me? You're getting it with Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some gonna have more light than the other, but these textures, that's where the National Jones come from. Like, imagine if you found the value of yourself and not gotta live and die on your block. You know, imagine you can see the world. Imagine you could love yourself. And in a lot of households, cats are not taught to love themselves. Or be in love with themselves so they can attract love to live, bro. Like, you know, to make it past 25 years of age when I was younger was a huge feat. You know what I'm saying? That's like a whole different type of graduation. You know what I mean? Like, that's like graduating with a master's or some shit, bro. Like, it's serious, you know, to get to this age in America, you know, to survive to this point. So I wanted cats to hear like what it would sound like. There is a such genre that exists. You know what I mean? You know, Black Thought, you know what I'm saying? Jadakiss, you know what I'm saying? Killer Mike, you know, these genres and these artists, these places do exist. It's just shit, you gotta want to tap in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm happy they do, because we be thinking that you can't age gracefully in hip hop. And that's the biggest lie next to streams making you real money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 100%. 100%. No, yeah, I mean, the project that I first heard that I associate with like the solidification of International Jones is Tennis Shoes and Tuxedos. Yeah.
Of course.
And so James Bond Benz and you know, like there's a moment, I think it's at the end of James Bond Benz, where it's just like, oh, and that James Bond Benz is mine. You know, that song. Yeah. And I was just like, that's this guy. Yeah.
And that James Bond Benz belongs to this nigga. It's Fiend for the money on Twitter, and it's James Bond Benz belongs to it. We just talking that shit, man. Like, you know, like the intro to it. Before you heard Kendrick mess with Marvin Gaye, you heard Jones messing with, you know what I mean? No, you know what I mean? Like, the vibes exist, bro. Great minds think alike, bro. Like, I ain't never done nothing like that in my life, man. Welcome to Tennis Shoes and Tuxedos. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit was next level. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I ain't gonna lay my leg on it, but let me keep it funky with you. Like, I was going through something and I chose to celebrate instead of being miserable. I just closed my father's eyes November 18, 2010. My father just died. I closed his eyes, left a hospital, went to Europe, and I brought it and released Tennis Shoes and Tuxedos. That was me celebrating, wanting to celebrate him and the music me and him used to vibe to in the studio and his bar room. So I chose to celebrate, and I was gonna celebrate, you know, International Jones, Tennis Shoes and Tuxedos. I say, what's something that an older player and a younger player may have in common, but they still fly, that they might still do regardless? That was go to prom wearing tennis shoes and tuxedos. You know what I'm saying? Somebody out the bunch was going to go with some tennis shoes and going to be fly, and he was going to be dope. So I put on a tux. I seen nobody doing it. I put on a tux. I was wearing my cement threes or whatever I was, and I got on the stage and I brought that shit, you know what I'm saying, and changed the whole game and probably helped myself therapeutically to get out and to get in the vibe, you know what I'm saying, and chose to celebrate my dad instead of being miserable, you know.
That's incredible. I mean, art as a coping mechanism is, you know, the thread for everyone who's done it, right? It's, you know, I've written a lot of things about my life in the future so I can grasp it in the future.
Mm.
You know, and so I understand doing that the other way around as well, just trying to cope with what you're
For
doing.
sure, for sure.
I would, yeah, it's, and so you went on this incredible run. Now that you've established International Jones, you could bring Womp Womp Fiend energy into the middle of songs and then follow them with really smooth shit. And this brings us to Cool is in Session, because to me, Cool is in Session as a series is the best meeting of the two, uh, Mr. Womp Womp and Jones, and it's really where they kind of weave together. That, by the way, to put it on the table, my favorite, if you're looking for like what is the smoothest International Jones project, what does it get? When? How does it get the smoothest? What is your pick? I'll tell you mine after.
I think I know your pick, but I rather you say it. I'm just making the art. You know what I'm saying?
It's the
I'm just
sweetest
making the
hangover.
art.
It's the sweetest hangover. Got to be the sweetest hangover.
I salute you, dear sir. I salute you, dear sir. Day at the office, you know, baby. You call it Kush, I call it baby.
Baby. Yeah. No, it's sweetest hangover is like feels like being on a tropical island. And by the way, I'm so glad to be interviewing now because I am in Booth Bay Harbor, Maine. Like I'm right out on the water. You know what I mean? Summer vacation shit.
Nice.
So this is perfect time to interview you. But yeah, Cool is in Session is a mixture of both, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you really have evolved through this series, uh, you know, and it was incredible to hear Mac kick off with you on Electricity.
Wasn't that cool, man?
Oh my god, because Mac is like, it's like a myth. Like it's like he's the No Limit Nas. That's what the internet
Right,
calls it, right?
right.
And so he's like, have you heard that Mac album? It's like there's whispers of Mac. So to hear him again, sounding just as locked in, was awesome. It was really great.
Right. Yeah, that was dope. I'm happy I waited because we recorded for his project, which is out right now, called Son of the City. Go download, stream that. And I was thinking like what to put him on, and me and him went to producing some stuff together, just messing around. And we never, completed the track. And then I recorded the Electricity joint, and I was like, I'm just gonna get him on this, man, like, and let him hear him like I would like to let the people hear us on something that I think is a nice, a real nice vibe. Is different, but it's like it's just that, yeah, it's just it'll be just dope. And man, he delivered like I figured he would. You know what I mean? And we shot a little viral, just messing around for basketball to end the basketball season. And it's produced by the Mecca 504. You know what I'm saying? So that shit's crazy.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, and I've got to ask you, because one of the other things that defines like the linkage between you and Currency is you're just an incredible collaborator. Uh, you incredible
Thank you.
collaborators don't just lay good verses or good hooks. You create great relationships uh, with people, and that's been something to watch. Uh,
I appreciate that. I don't I know it's crazy like to try to get along with everybody, but like I'm still a kid that I'm a man, but I still have this hip hop kid, in my subconscious that want to make great music with people, and it's always cool to run across some other dope people that want to collab sometimes and make dope art. I'm still like that person, so. But as an artist, I mean, I have things I love to do, but the collaborations are always great. No bullshit. Collabs are, man, are always out the park. Wait till you hear what's on we did on this new Jet Life release called Season Opener. You know, me and Currency on Alchemist tracks. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like me, G Style, me, Fendi P, Black Hole Bang. Like we did something real crazy right quick. You know.
That's great, and we'll be anticipating that. You know, the first one I would have to ask you about is Mia X. During that run, that mixtape run where I wrote the MVP ballot for you,
you know how to make me,
but that
make me feel so
oh my God,
good.
that's Life Behind
You
Limbo
know
Glass.
how
That
to
song
make me,
is
man.
amazing, amazing. Mia X says, "I get so high I can shit on their head." Like it's fucking great. Mia X is amazing.
Hey, Life Behind Lemon Glass was special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was special too. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like I could hear different spaces of just when the music was just it was just doing this, man. It was just doing this. And I just really wanted the world to tap into International Jones and be able to tour the world with this live band and give people this Congo Square and rap form. If Louis Armstrong on rap, like listening to the Never Brothers in the Trap, you know. I just wanted to be the person to give the world that and just tour, bro, and just I saw it, man. I saw it, but um, I'm still in pursuit of it, but it's more of a hobby, you know what I'm saying? Because the brand Fiend supersedes the brand of International Jones, even though, you know, man, oh my God, bro, shout out to Frank Dukes. All kind of people was just reaching out because of International Jones, bro. And it had to be the greatest new feeling in the world to reinvent yourself. Oh my God, bro. Like, because I did it from my heart of I want to make art at the same time as a guy that know what it's like to be out here in the streets a little bit, and at the same time a player that should be focusing his mind on getting money and being around pretty beautiful people, you know what I'm saying? Like beautiful ladies and traveling and getting stamps of your passport. So I wasn't trying to preach to players. I was just trying to, you know, give a little game, you hear me? And hopefully they have soundtracks to their waves of what they doing. And I'm still looking to do that, you hear me? So, you know, that's my plight at the end of the day, to be able to perform in front of Oprah, the Jay-Z's, the Beyonce. They got to book International Jones and the band to come there and show off by having one of the coolest motherfuckers in the world to come exemplify what it's like to bring this type of cool shit to your living room. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Bro, so Life Behind Limo Glass and Keep You Cool and Cool as a Session 2. It was just like, man, bro, like experimenting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, some of the mixes wasn't even right sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like I just was giving y'all that shit, putting my brand, my name on the line behind rather y'all having it. You know what I'm saying? Like I countlessly spent my money on this. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, hoping to just perform this shit for somewhere for people that love it, bro.
And I got to see you live during this period. And yeah, so with Mia X, like it worked so well because you were one of the few rappers who could affect a sexual atmosphere on an album that was almost comparable to Marvin Gaye. It was so atmospheric. It was so you could feel it that like you and me is fearless, right? Me is fearless.
You know what's crazy? We're not gonna get off this subject about Mia. My mother just told me the other day, like whatever the day that Crawford fight with his Spencer was, whatever day that was. Right?
Yep.
My mother told me she heard October London, right?
Yep.
And she said to herself, oh my God, that don't sound no different than what the fuck you is doing. Like, how do people don't know about you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she's not throwing shade. And major respect to October London,
Right.
and that whole camp, Snoop, Jazzy. She was just saying that the texture
Right.
of artists want to express these textures. So I was just elaborating on something funny that even my mother's a music connoisseur, hearing what you just said just now, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And the Mia got on the feature. I asked Mia to get on something. And I said I was going to see about getting on that. So my sis was like, I'm gonna do something with this, you know what I mean? And then she was like, I'm gonna come lay it down by you. I'm ready. She got in there, you heard me? She might have went home, came right back next day. She was in a zone. And she just did it, bro. And it was perfect. I
Yeah.
saw it being played in ballrooms. We call our little clubs like little hole in the walls that might hold 100 people, 150 people. We call those ballrooms. You know what I mean? My dad owned the ballroom. You heard me? And Mia was in there off a Second and Drive, and the DJ played that joint, and I'm in the ballroom with her, and we're just listening to this shit like this is what we made it for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like to be played like this amongst players, lighting a little funny lettuce in the air, you heard me? Some adult smoke, people sipping on something cloudy, you know what I'm saying? Just catching the vibe as adults. So hate to make a short story long, but
No,
that's what.
it's a great story.
Yeah.
The other one I saw you when I saw you live, there were two big takeaways from your end, right? Which was first, Currency has so much respect for you. Like Currency came on, it was like, if I could have this man's voice, he was just so he loved what you were doing. And
He's such a gentleman, bro. Like, I love my guys, bro. Musa, Fendi P, the Jet. I love my guys because we come from very, very humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? We still here, you dig?
the other takeaway was, holy shit, the relationship with you and Corner Boy P at the time, was Fendi P now, is legit important. Like you have an important back and forth that I had underestimated at first.
Bruh, I talked them girls into a three-way. Man, say, bro. I I enjoy recording with him because he's, I asked him, we asked him to rap. He didn't even rap.
Yeah.
We asked him to rap. And he was a kid, you know what I'm saying, coming like in like 10th, 9th grade, bro. We asked him to rap, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he stuck with it this long. So super, super proud of him. But we be having our elbow in the pot off of shit with each other because, we back to back. We know what we mean to each other. And I bat for him. I cut for him like that on music before anybody would have done a feature with him. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be great to hear them relationships in the songs. That's why me and Currency sound so great together. And me and Pee Wee, you know what I mean, aka Fendi P sound so great together,
Yeah. No, it's absolutely something that's marked your career, is that you're always finding interesting collaborations with people, and developing new great relationships. You have a song on here, Swang on Me, which is a continuation of your relationship with Paul Wall. This is not your
Rain
first Paul
on
Wall.
me. Yeah, man. Well, first of all, that collaboration was dope. People just want to see us work together. Shout out to DJ Spin for putting the Paul Wall collab together on the Thank God It's Fiend project and producing that joint. And shout out to Flea and Big Lee out in Huntsville, Alabama, Vegas, Alabama, for putting Swing on Me in Paul Wall's ear for Paul to be like, man, I got him. You heard me? So yeah, that's always dope, bro. I like collabs when cats just wanna, hey bro, y'all didn't get a whiff of me and the Larry June collab, did you?
No, I'm rocking the Larry June shirt right now. That's
Look,
great.
the same song that he got with Spitter on one of his latest projects. I think the song is called New Orleans or something.
Yeah.
I am on the remix, but he put it on a vinyl because it's under International Jones and not Fiend. I don't know if I'd just say write it the feature up as Fiend. Maybe he'd have used it like, like that. I don't really know. But I'm on that. I got my verse somewhere up in here, but body that shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It should be out there. You might be able to Google it or something. You might be able to YouTube it, but I know it's supposed to be on the vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll dig for that. Yeah, I mean, Cool is in Session 3 I've listened to it a lot. Because the songs songs hang really well together. They just really feel unified. It's 26 minutes and there isn't like a lot of breaks where you feel like, oh, this is a different run now. Like me and Kay talk about this all the time. Runs of songs are important to us, right? The best run of songs. This is 9 songs where they feel collected in a way that's important. Yeah. They slide
Shout out to D-Lo the Diamond Man here, of Monster Beast. We last minute at the like what they say, like the 11th hour or something. Yeah. We lined the project up together. You know what I mean? I think he has a really, really good ear. And I don't really trust people to do that. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much got my thing. And then at the same time, I respect people enough to know that they care about the audience too. So shout out to him for helping me line the project up, because I have another version of that project, and it's the vinyl version called Blue Hop. And I haven't released it, but it's all one increment. It's just one increment. You can't fast, can't skip to the next song. It just flows. It's one long, you know what I mean? And that's the way the project is supposed to be enjoyed. So that let me know that we did a good job. You know what I'm saying? So thank you very much, man.
Because if you think about it, Kay, Electricity starts it, and that is Womp Womp Fiend ready to go. Right. And then by track 5, you got Flued Out, right? Right in the middle. That is the most International Jones you'll get.
A commercial break, the separated, right? A commercial break,
Yeah. So
small chronic break.
Chronic break. Kay, how did you feel about how this was designed and how it flowed?
I mean, it reminded me a lot of the Pilot Talk series. I mean, it was very, and I don't know if there's a relationship between, what Currency was doing with Pilot Talk and what you're doing with Cool in Session. But for me, there was definitely, with all 3 parts of Cool's in Session, I felt like there was like a kinship between those 2.
Yep.
I am around great minds, you know what I'm saying? And I would credit to being from where we from and being in the birthplace of jazz, but I would say great minds think alike. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've adopted a great playbook also to add to my own some plays to add to my playbook as well, to find out, how to keep the supporters, the believers engaged. You know what I'm saying? I probably never did a part 2, part 3, things like that, until I just realized that, this is what the people are intrigued to know that they can taste that second one like that first one. You know what I'm saying? And know that you care enough about my ears. I want to grow with you. So that's what that was. And I didn't want to overkill. Like Cool as a Session 4 is done. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to do overkill. So you could have got Cool as a Session 3 and it could have been 20 joints, it could have been 25 joints. What we did was we sat there, we vibed out, we rolled up some of that flow, and we rolled up some of that Andretti OG, and we listened to it, and we lined it up like it did, and the textures is what we was going for. You know what I'm saying? By the time you get to Broken Spirit, it's like you have to accept it. Like I'm invested. I'm so invested, and like you know, if I upload the words, people will really probably be really trippy. Like I got to say this in music without I said a whole lot without having to say a whole lot.
Mm. And that kind of brings up another question that I wanted to touch on. What would you say is the relationship between, you know, the rap persona Fiend and then the rap persona International Jones? Like, how do you view the connection between the two? Because it's almost like you talk about like them as like two separate like entities in a way, but it's like the same person, you know? You. Yeah.
I end up I earned being called International Jones and own the persona and exemplify it to the maximum potential. It's the ghetto boy who grew up, you know, it's the ghetto boy who made it out the hood and did well for himself. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy from around the way, he did well for himself. He's still alive, man. Still vibrant, still youthful, still happy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it is two different spaces. Fiend, you trust Fiend. I've already proven to the world by making the world look at a name that was looked down upon. I've completed that task in my life. I made the world see a name that was totally looked down upon as individual that they could trust and listen to and learn from and grow from and be a part of their life. You know what I'm saying? Like International Joan was just a growth. This is who I am as well. You know what I mean? But I think Fiend represented a certain era in space, and for the sake of it, I let that name, you know, because it still has traction. But International Jones is worldly. It's just this was this music was made for. This is who I am. You feel me? It's a passport full of stamps. You know, it's smoking on the greatest of God's garden. You know what I'm saying? And just elevating a businessman. A man that loves women. You know, a man that loves life. You know, a man that enjoys being a father, a parent, you know, a man that enjoys being married, you know. I think it's okay to see these versions of that and still come off as being the most player shit you ever seen in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like James Bond would change with me, a life, swap lives with me in a heartbeat. You know, James Bond got to look over his shoulder. You know, James Bond don't know which woman trusts him. You know, like he's somebody that you hold in high regard, but you almost feel sorry for him. International Jones is the guy that got in and got out. You may have missed him, but we back celebrating popping bottles off of our school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Maybe no one was killed in the process. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Okay, my thoughts to add would be Fiend is the hunger to take over the world. Like Fiend is someone who won a rap battle with the whole world, right? Like just I am my hunger is insatiable. I'll take every track I'm given. I am one of the best to do this, and I'll show you, right? Fiend is that energy. And so when Fiend comes back, it's still that energy. International Jones is someone who changed all the characteristics of the game to suit him. Like, and that's what's interesting about like in an era, the blog era, where people were like running down women and running down their sexual partners, Fiend was like complimenting them. You know, he's like, I got a bad bitch, I love her, she's a doctor. And you're like, oh shit. Well, that's nice. Like it was there was never, bad bitches like caviar on their pancakes, like it was never like there wasn't frustration in there. There wasn't hostility. It was just like it was warmth and jokes and it was just doing whatever you wanted to do. That's what it felt like.
That's dope, man. Like, like that's just dope. That somewhere there's a woman who can't wait for you to talk her panties off her.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And she can appreciate the player in you pursuing that. She'll love you for that.
Right.
she will love you for this. You know what I'm saying? So I said if I've accepted, I'm about to be hopefully Cat's favorite uncle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have a where's the player music you could chill with a baddie and roll a fatty and
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like where's the music? Yeah, like where's the men that you could pop on and be like, shit, I'm about to set my whole mood off. You know, it ain't too mushy. You know, that's just what it is. If my music accentuates life, it's art, it's life, and it's art imitating life. So that's what the music reflects. All types of races of women and all types of people in the world. You know, everybody don't look like you. I gotta, you know, to make $1 million deals with each other. You know what I'm saying? That she might can't speak a lick of English, but she know, you know what a more is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, I think that's just dope. I love that about traveling, but I wouldn't have known that if I just stayed in a Fiend perspective, you know what I'm saying, of just my block,
Right.
you know, just neighborhood. I had to see the world evolve to know I got to learn my value. And I love to love, you hear me? Like, you know, I guess I was a fighter before lover on the No Limit releases, and then National Jones, I'm a lover, you know, not a fighter unless this is what we gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I think it need to be more clear, more love out here. More, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be sliding on shit. We're gonna be players. We're gonna come with some swag. Yeah, but we gonna. I think that's. You know, it's too many women in here. We focus on wanting to fight. And what are we doing, bro?
Right.
Like,
No,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
I was about to say that's what between you and Fiend that you are Fiend. No, the between you and Currency, that was the connective tissue, right? Was like the there's no reason for everybody to get all rah-rah if we're all friends and we're all having fun tonight. Like, what are we doing?
Boom,
You know, like
boom.
so Currency has all these hit songs about playing video games and doing quite well in them. And like people love it because he's Currency and he can identify interesting images, you know,
And he's likable.
and you have that ability to come out of nowhere with a really interesting image. Um, you're the first person I think I heard say come out of the mud, use out the mud in a rap
I'm,
song.
I'm the first guy that called Kush Keisha Cole. I'm the first guy that called Purple Weed Oprah. You know what I'm saying? Like we've always said trans, man, and standards on stuff, you know, and it's cool. You know, it's hip hop. People gonna borrow from us. Man, there's a lot of artists out there that we've planted seeds in. But this is so cool about this, like, man, like in some spaces, I could be their favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's a cool space to be in. But at the end of the day, I'm still just grateful to be involved. I'm so grateful to have listeners. I'm so grateful that the music connect. I'm so grateful to have the courage to put out like a fluid out. I could have kept fluid out and being scared to release it. Like when I'm like, man, that shit clear as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and you know, Currency was like, man, we need to call that shit blues hop. You know, like he said, it's just, man, what the fuck we call this shit, bro? You like, what are you doing? I say, fam, I am just recording music I feel compelled to do, bro. Like, and I don't want to sit on it. So this is why you're getting Summertime Linen. You know, this is why you're getting Too Many Hoes. This is why you get, you know what I mean? Like, that's for Danya. I don't be rushing. I'll be taking my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is crazy, bro. I don't hear nobody talking this type of shit. Like, you feel me? Like, bro,
Right.
what is we doing, bro? Like, so I be wanting, if I can oppress me, I can share it with y'all. Like, if they trust my ear, I got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, you knew you were getting the Fiend that you wanted when you saw the cover at the Coolest in Session 3, right? I mean, it's a beautiful cover. And you just knew you were getting
Hey,
what you wanted.
shout out to 40. Shout out to 40, FPS. You know, CJ Wallace for doing the artwork. He does all the artwork for all the Jet Life releases. He is fucking simply amazing, bro. You ever shout out to him? I'm gonna say it again. 40 FPS. He's an amazing director. He's an amazing artist, illustrator. cartoonist, animator, director, film writer. You know, he's fucking everything, bro. Shout out to him, bro, because he's from Canada. He came from Canada. He got with Musha. He got with Spitter, and like he has been spot on, man, bro. Like, you know, everything when it comes down to help exemplifying that art on these covers and some ideas as well. You know, he's such a fan of music. He'll get with me like we call each other play B. Like he'd be like, say play B. You know what I'm saying? What you think we need for this new cover, man? You know what I'm saying? So I sent him the picture. I sent him the picture of me for Cool's in Session 3. Then he did everything around me. I already had the picture. You know, I did the picture myself through the AI. I was like, oh, I was like, psh, the gold frames. I said, this shit is like final. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. Was a Session 3, like, damn, bro. And then he was like, send me what you got. I sent it to him. Then he just put the theatrics, you know what I'm saying, put the backdrop in place, and then it just made it that much more easily. I sent him Fluid Out to listen to, and that's, you know what I'm saying, like,
Good
that was
enough,
the vibe.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, and so, and I just, before we go to recommendation corner, I would say in conclusion, for me, what the last thing I had to say to you is I would say you changed how I write about music. You were one of the defining people that changed how I write about music. And I'll explain, because in the underground space, there's a lot of fancy music. There's a lot of avant-garde rap, right? That is very good, right? But I was caught at a crossroads where there was avant-garde rap that was bracing, but I only really listened to it once. And I was like, but I'm listening to Fiend all day. Like, I'm listening to Fiend all the time. These new releases all the time. They're all amazing. I listen to so much more Fiend than these guys. If I rep these fancy projects that are avant-garde, I'm a liar, because that's not what I'm listening to. So like your music forced me to be like, if I'm not listening to it all the time, I'm not going to write about it all the time. You're going to know that when I write about an album that I care about it, that I love that, and that I'm listening to it, you know?
Right.
And so that was a big thing for me, and I appreciate you for it.
Hey, I'm grateful, man. Like, the music is still connecting. I just think it's dope, bro. Like, I'm just excited. I don't know, like, if the rest of the world is going to catch on like it did early blog era. You know what I'm saying? To the people that support me, like you guys, man, I thoroughly appreciate you two gentlemen so very much. I felt like I dropped the ball on the consistent releases, maybe, and maybe it made the pitchforks and the double XLs and the Vibe magazines, these new writers or whoever came in, and maybe I'm not on their radar no more, because everybody and their mom was on International Jones by the time we hit Life Behind Limo Blast and Cool's Session. It was gone, bro. Like, but I don't know, man. Like, but I can tell you, it isn't easy as much to put. It isn't as easy to put the music out, but I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna give up. I feel like these spaces, we need it, man. I feel like it's not like me just being full of myself. I'm literally not trying, but I'm literally expressing music that I would like to hear, that I think is missing.
I'm with you. Like, there's a lot of, it's a very dark period in content, right? There's a lot of music that is about depression or about drug addiction, or that is, difficult, bracing, but there isn't a lot of celebration. Even the celebrations are tinged with darkness, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that. But I think I really enjoyed listening to Cool's in Session 3 in preparation for this.
Thank you.
It was I listened to it twice today. I could just run it back because it just flows so well. Yeah, I appreciate it. So, Kay, do you have anything else you wanted to ask or anything to talk about?
No, I mean, I think the emphasis for me, like if you make good work that you're proud of, eventually people will catch on to it. I mean, that's the the faith that you have. Like you make something that you're proud of, something that you think is good, whether they know it at the time or whether they know it like in 10 years or 5 years, eventually people will catch on to what's good.
Right.
And the other thing is the power of being where you are, right? Of like, saying, look, I know I'm known for X, but that's not where I am right.
Right.
I'm in Y, so I'm going to do Y. And you created two different powerful legacies. And that's something that it's very hard to create one.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah.
Hey, shout out to David Adams. He produced Numbers Only,
Oh,
featuring
great. Yeah.
First Class Rossi. Yeah. He wastes his time taming her. She from Romania. She bring me lettuce, rub my back, make raisins and toast. You get the message. You know what I'm saying? Like, is what I'm saying? Like, hear me? I'm having fun, and I feel like we just need more player shit out here. And
I hear you. The other one that's being on there, Ski Mask. Ski Mask is an interesting song with Rivers, Boss Man Riv.
Yeah, Boss Man Riv. Out to Boss Man Riv, and shout out to his dad, OG Rivers. He's talking on the end of the joint.
Yeah. So
It was
that song's dope.
different. Shout out to Mecca. He produced that joint. That's just how we coming, fam. Like I was like, I want you to look at the cover and be like, damn, bro, like, damn, like you feel these textures, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like talking that shit, bro. Like what I mean, like we put it in the baggie, they put it in a vein, a small metropolis, rock and rock that is. You know what I'm saying? I ain't lying. Look at how I rock my wrist. Look how I rock my. You know what I'm saying? Like it just them textures, bro. Like I'm on the mic right now. I'm on the mic, damn near doing voiceovers. You know what I'm saying? Because I want the texture captured, how serious each vibe is, whether it's humorous or whether, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like I got about 5 projects done. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just sitting on International Jones projects, you know what I'm saying? And waiting till the time is right for these vibes, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's fun and it's dope because I know like people are gonna say, that's so dope. You didn't have to make that. You didn't have to talk about that. And you found like a dope backdrop to do that. So now I can listen to people talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, man. So this is dope.
Yeah. I appreciate it. Recommendation Corner is where we talk about what we've been listening to recently, and just gives people some stuff to talk about or listen to. I'll go with some soul music to start. It's called the artist is Acantha Lang. The album is Beautiful Dreams. Yeah, R&B soul from London. It's just
Hold on, let me YouTube it.
Really smooth shit, man. I really enjoy it.
Let me YouTube it.
Yep, beautiful cover.
Spell it. Acantha Lang, spell it.
So it's ACANTHA, and then last name Lang, LANG.
Got it. Okay.
So the other one, Kay, this is something me and Zilla Rocky and Philly have been texting about. There's this album called Midair by Paris, Texas. Paris, Texas is the group, and it is this kind of dirty rock influenced, but it's rap, But the cool part is, and this is a key thing for me and Zilla, we kind of want our dirty, muddled sounding rap clean, Like there's a difference between just giving you something that's messed up and
Mhm.
going for something that is
Mhm.
darker or jagged but still clean.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Midair is clean, but it is dirty clean. I like that. It's there's bars all over it. Um, it's dope. It's got movements within the songs where things change. Yeah, Pitchfork is loving it, but it's just a really it's a good album. So I would recommend that. It's gonna climb up my climb up my list. So
Nice.
what Kay, what are you listening to?
Nothing new this week. I really enjoyed the Fiend, the Cools in Session.
Ooh,
Uh,
Thank you, Kay.
yeah.
the recommendation, Fiend. If you want to dig into the albums we talked about, my recommendation, the best place is Bandcamp. If you go to Fiend's Bandcamp, you can get Tennis Shoes and Tuxedos, you can get Sweetest Hangover, you can get Life Behind Limo Glass, you can get all that stuff. Um, the streaming services, some of the stuff is under International Jones, some of it's under Fiend.
Thanks.
If you're on Bandcamp anyway, like a lot of our people are, find Fiend on Bandcamp, Fiend Digital, um, and cop up, man. They're definitely affordably priced. You can
Yeah.
get it all, man.
Strategically. Just strategically made it like that. Just want hopefully to get the people to tap in. I got two people I've been listening to.
Do it.
I really been jamming to The Sacred Soul.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
I've
and they
heard
got
this.
a female too. I'm looking for right quick. I'm trying to think of her name right now. And if that's all you want, I'll let you get a piece of me. Oh yeah. Dun,
Wait,
dun,
that was one of
dun,
my
dun.
Queen Lady Ray.
Lady
Lady
Ray,
Ray.
thank you. Lady
That,
Ray.
that was one of
Yeah.
my favorite albums. Was that my number one album of last year, Kay? I think that.
I think it was up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lady,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Piece of
That's
me.
that was I listened to a playlist, traveling with my family, and I had the Bluetooth. And we got around some water, so I forget what city we was in. And I went to playing this particular playlist I found on Apple, I believe. Man, I just you heard me like, man. Like, if I don't have nothing, I got the coldest samples. You got Snoop Dogg, you got DJ Paul, you got
Yep.
KLC from Beast Pop. My laptop is the illest when it comes to samples. You heard me when it comes to just digging in the crates. Oh my God. When I tell you I'm holding, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Believe it.
holding. Yeah. So that's why the music be so, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
sometimes you might get something like you'll get like a masterpiece on Cools and Session.
Yeah.
Crazy.
To build on the Sacred Souls, THEE Sacred Souls, that album is so damn smooth. Like it's
Bruh.
wild. You can put it on in the
Hey,
background, do things,
and
and it's over,
uh,
right?
uh,
You're just like it's so smooth.
and for the record, I want to just put this energy out there because I believe that I still want to work with these people, but maybe me doing freestyles to their music. I never monetized off it, but
Right.
maybe me doing freestyles to it. It might have rubbed them wrong, but bro, I want to get an album produced. Not me and Frank Good. Shout out to my brother Frank Dukes. I hope you're safe and well out there. We're overdue for work. He looked into International Jones early in and was sending me tracks. Shout out to Daptone Records. I reached out to them for years. I wanted to do a project with Minahan Street Band, and I wanted an album produced by Budo's band or Minahan Street Band. That is like what I really want to do to like, like to give a album out there like of International Jones of that texture with this band. Shout out to Count. The Count, excuse me. Shout out to the Count. They sent me some tracks too, a band out of Canada. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like them textures, what I really, 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 I want to be in these new James Bond movie. Let me go ahead and do the whole soundtrack for the new James Bond movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
let me do that. You know what I mean? Like I want to go there, bro.
You imagine James Bond is just like with the ski gear on, and it's the ski scene, and then Jones, because that would be great. If I could put you with one sole act right now, the one that comes to mind is the Black Pumas.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how that would sound?
The Black Pumas, wow. See, I wanna do this because I think we're gonna shut something down, and I think people are gonna be like, "Oh my God!" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't had a chance to tap in. You know, like I see what the Roots do. You know,
Yeah.
and not to say if I studied everything, but I see what the Roots do. I enjoy it. I love it. I respect it.
Right.
I saw what the great Guru and Premier did with Jazzmatazz.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want to overlook that, and I can appreciate that, and I love that. But I didn't really put that under a microscope. But I did enjoy some cuts and some vibes.
Yeah.
Alchemist, a whole project produced by Alchemist would be crazy, right? We were talking in the studio the other day, and just for him to be like, "Yo, Jones, man, I can hear your voice on this one." So we ended up doing it on the new project, season opener, JLR. On me and Spitter got down on this vibe, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Like I love them collabs. Harry Fraud would be a nice.
Harry Fraud is on the run right now.
Yeah, I think that would be like. I think it'd be good for music, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because the subject matters, you know what I'm saying? Execution flow, 10,000 grams of potassium. Streets are wrong, mama praying like the Vatican. You know, it'll make me get in those pockets to just, you know, like, bruh, you know what I mean? Like,
you got me hyped now. Let me rep another classic Jet Life release here. Entirely produced by Harry Fraud. Rugby Thompson by Smoke DZA is a classic to me. I love that album. 2012 Playground Legend, like just yeah.
Right. I got nice ears. Yeah, I got nice ears. You heard me? Like, man, I can't wait to perform this shit, bro. Like, shout out to Josh, the owner of Raw Papers. You know, shout out to my buddy Josh. I remember seeing him somewhere like in Arizona somewhere, and I know him to get on a tour bus. Man, I got the aux cord or the Bluetooth playing the music after we on tour, Jet Life tour, Smokers Club tour. I'm normally, as soon as I get on it, like Jones, put some music on. You know what I'm saying? So I got my laptop, whatever. I'm playing some vibes. We settling down. We're rolling up, chilling, catching our vibe, getting ready for the next city or whatever. And I remember Josh came on a bus, and I think we may have just did our first collaboration with Raw. And I was feeling out the International Jones performance to be crooning on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really was doing that. So I can't. Sound check is one thing, but I ain't got no earpiece. Whatever, right? So he came and told me something on the bus. He gets on the bus. He said, "Yo, man, I saw you on stage." He said, "You playing the music?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I bet you don't have LL Cool J. I'm the type of guy." So I go to my laptop, boom, play that shit, right? He look at me like, "Oh shit," right? So we on the tour bus, and he said, "Yo," he said, "I saw you perform, man. You're a cool guy." He said, "I guess the studio and live performance is a little different, right? And I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because the studio sounds this way, but trying to convey that same, to exemplify that same texture on stage, if you're not really ready, it is not going to sound like that. So, bro, he gave me that comment, and I took it as like somebody that, you know, listened to rock all over the world, a young, wealthy cat, you know, and a player. And I took that advice and I applied that. So when I got ready to do the cools and session, to keep you cool and stuff like that, when I got ready to perform Baby, I mastered that shit. So next time I saw him, I did that shit. You heard me? I think the last song I did was like on my set was either Baby or I Just Want to Float. And by this time he came on the tour bus, he was like, he was like, Jones, oh my God, Jones, that shit was hot. I was like, bro. I said, bro. Yeah, I was gonna be ready for next time I saw you to have it together.
That's an important story. The people that have meant the most to me on my journey are the people who have shown that they have love for me, but challenge me when they see things I could do better. Like, and they bring that shit to me and they're like, yeah, why don't you do it this way? And I'm like,
right.
Good call. It's cool to have people that have love for you, but people that have love for you and have the heart to tell you that you have room on this space to grow,
Right.
That's special. That's a special breed. You have to appreciate those people. So, yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Art Kimball, we did it.
What will tomorrow bring?